John 10:38. Si autem facio, et si mihi non vultis credere, operibus credite, cognoscatis et credatis, quia in me est pater, et ego in patre. But if I do them, and if you do not believe me, believe the works, so that you might know, and you might believe that the Father is in me, and I am in the Father. Today we have another conditional sentence. Notice si and si. This is our protasis for the day. This is our apodosis. And from ut onward, we have a final clause with an additional subordinate clause expounding upon the apodosis. But let's start from the beginning. Si autem facio. You may have noticed that I translated this as, but if I do them, referring back to the prior verse, is opera, the works. It does not need to be expressed in this sentence because it was explicitly said in the last sentence, and one can infer from the context. And then we have si mihi non vultis credere. Let's take a second to consider non vultis. If you recall, in the last verse we had a form of nolle, and what we have here is in fact another form of nolle. If you recall your conjugation for the present tense of nolle, there are three forms of the present tense that are defective, that substitute non plus a form of velle to express nolle. This may seem a bit strange, but if we think about it from a historical linguistic perspective, it makes perfect sense, as nolle is just a crassus of non velle. So far we have, but if I do them, and if you do not want to believe me, or you are unwilling to believe me, or you will not believe me, believe the works. Remember, we have mihi and operibus taking in the dative case, because our verb credere takes its object in the dative. Then we have a final clause or purpose clause introduced by ut, and accordingly, our verbs are subjunctive and are following the sequence of tenses. And then we have quia in me est pater, et ego in patre. The only thing that really stands out in this section would be to remind you that quia is frequently used in place of quod in the Vulgate. This is one of such places. And with that ends the quotation of Jesus that began in verse 34.